Christmas tutorial. I know it is the last video for Christmas. I'm sorry, I've been going through a really tough week. If you guys have been following me on my YouTube channel from the very beginning, you guys will have remembered Matthias. Um, he was my little baby, my little man who I fostered, and he went blind and lost his eyes and all that stuff. Well, he passed away on this Monday. So I I haven't been okay. So I haven't been able to make a video or anything like that. So this is basically going to be the last video of Christmas, and then after after I'm going to try to do one in between from Christmas and New Year's, but if I don't, it'll be definitely after New Year's. I just need to recollect myself and stuff because it's been really hard for me. But anyways, so today we're going to be making a Christmas card. This Christmas card is for someone really special. That's why I'm taking this time to go ahead and make that for her. We are going to use Karen Bernstein's Bitty Ball Pop-Up die, which is this little die here. And we are also going to be using the add-ons, Animal Add-ons 3 from Karen Bernstein. And also we're going to be using the die, which is the Flip and Closure from also Karen Bernstein. And we're going to go ahead and use these three dies. These three dies I purchased especially because I wanted to do a few cards for Christmas. But like I said, with events that have been happening, I really haven't had time to go ahead and do that. But let me show you the card that we are going to be making today. So we are using a pink themed Christmas DSP paper that we purchased from Michael's. And as you can see, it has like the little snowflakes, and I went ahead and I added some little stickles. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make this little guy who pops out. So basically right now I just put that paper because I didn't want his antlers to get caught, but when the recipient opens it, it just basically pops out, which I thought was super duper cute. So we're going to go ahead and make this little bad boy. Let's not waste any more time, guys. And let's go ahead and just make this little bad boy, and I will see you guys in a bit. Alrighty then, my little crafty monsters. So these are the die sets that we are going to be using. Like I said, I purchased these on eBay, and you guys could go ahead and check them out on eBay or even on Amazon. Or also you can check out, scrapbook.com, because they usually have them there. Karen Bernstein also has her own website as well, but usually those dice are full price, so I don't know if you want to do that. This is the paper pack that we're going to use, and this is from the Michaels, and it's just a pink theme paper pack for Christmas, which I thought was a little bit different. Like, I know that they're not your common Christmas colors, but I thought they were super duper cute. And so we're just going to go ahead and cut down all of the paper so that we can go ahead and use that as the mats for our envelope, and as well as for the well, it's just basically for the envelope. So right here we're going to go ahead and cut out a 5x5 square, and this is going to go ahead and coordinate with that Flip and Closure die from Karen Bernstein. And this is going to be the actual envelope that's going to hold our little pop-up ball. And so we're just going to go ahead and just layer a DSP paper at I think it's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and it's just to give it that little extra something in the middle. Right here we're going to go ahead and cut out the little flaps from a DSP paper. Well, not DSP paper, it's just a solid cardstock, and this cardstock is 110 pounds. I felt for the little pop-up ball and as well as the envelope, I wanted to go ahead and just keep that at a really thick cardstock so that it's a lot durable and it's pretty sturdy for that little pop-up when it keeps popping up. So we used 110 Recollections cardstock, and so after we cut out all of the little flaps, there's a die that cuts out the mats for those flaps. So we're gonna go ahead and cut those out out of some DSP paper from that paper pack that I just showed you guys. And it's pretty easy, guys. You're just running that through your machine and you're just cutting it. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm really out of it, guys. It's just been a really hard week, and it's been pretty emotional as well. But you want to go ahead and just like use different DSP paper that matches in color, and it's coordinated, but it's different print. So then like that, you just get a variety of all kinds of different DSP papers. And so right here, I'm just going to go ahead and continue cutting these out. This is going to be on the outside or the inside. I'm not really 100% sure. I believe it's the inside of the envelope. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut 4 because there's 4 flaps per envelope. Now, if you don't have this die, honestly, you guys could just go ahead and cut out a regular cardstock, either a 5.7 or something bigger than an A2 card. And so, I mean, an A6 or an A7 would actually work right here. So right here, I'm just getting the cardstock, and the cardstock that I'm using for this ball surprise, it is going to also be 110 pounds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut that in half. And then I'm going to go ahead and just run that through my Sizzix. Now you do need, it depends on how many little pop-up balls you're making. So if you're making a whole full body, you're going to need a total of 4 of these. It's two die cuts per ball. So if you're going to do, like I said, the head and the body, you need 4 of these. But if you're just going to do the little head, then you just need 2 of these. But I'm going to go ahead and run the 4 out of this. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue cutting out as much as the items that I need right now that I have my Sizzix machine out. Now this die comes out with those, the matte dies, and these are the matte dies. It comes with a total of 6 of them. You do need 12 of them per ball. But the good thing about these dies is you can go ahead and fold your paper and then cut out 6 and you'll get 12 of them at one time. However, right here, I'm just going to go ahead and just cut 6 at a time. But they still give you 6 of them, so you don't have to cut one by one, which is sometimes a little bit too tedious. So this kind of helps out speed up the process. So we're going to go ahead and just continue doing that. And so once we have all of these little bad boys cut out, we're going to go ahead and be able to put our little surprise ball cut out. I'm also going to use on the animal add-ons 3, which is this one right here. We're going to go ahead and build a reindeer. So we need all of the items that you will need for the actual reindeer. So go ahead and just cut those out. Now these are in little pieces, so you probably would get away with cutting tiny little pieces and cutting these all out at one single time. Like you're going to see that I'm going to try to do that right now. So we're going to go ahead and use this craft color cardstock as, the main color for our little reindeer. And it's just going to be accented with the really dark brown, excuse me, with the dark brown cardstock as well. So we're just going to continue doing that. Once we have all of these little bad boys cut out, then we're going to go ahead and just start building everything. It's pretty easy, guys. It's a little bit tedious because you have a lot of gluing and a lot of putting together, but I really think that it's worth it. And so if you guys have this die, if you guys are looking to buy this die, I think it's a super cute little addition to your craft supplies, because you will always be able to do different kind of pop-up creations for any holiday. And now that we're going to have Valentine's coming up, how cute would this little die set be with a little creature coming out holding like little hearts and stuff like that? I think it's super duper cute. So we're just going to go ahead and continue cutting all of our supplies, and once we are done cutting our supplies, I will be right back. Okay, now once we have all these cut out, we're gonna go ahead and just glue these little tabs on here. Now I know in this video I don't show you guys, but in the end of this whole entire project, I do add a DSP paper in the back of this card so that you guys don't see where these flaps are glued on. Now this is really easy to use. These flaps, all you have to do is just glue them onto the very edges of them. You just have to line them up to make sure that they're lined up perfectly. But you could do so much with these guys. I really do like this little flip closure die because in my head, I've already thought of so many different little ideas that I want for this. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and center that little die in the middle and just kind of mark it so where I know that little brad is going to be. We're going to add a brad to this so that the little pop-up ball is going to be able to move around in a circle. And so if you're going to do that, then you want to go ahead and just kind of center that with the die. But if you're not going to do that, if you're just going to go ahead and glue him down and he's not going to be able to swivel around, then you don't need this part. You just have to be able to center him. So right here, we're just adding all of the DSP paper mats to all of our little edges of the envelope. And it's actually pretty easy, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys look at this. I'm not going to narrate right now because I just feel that gluing all this is kind of pretty self-explanatory. So I will see you guys in a bit. So now let's start building these little itty bitty, well, they're not itty bitty, they're just a surprise pop-up ball. And so right here, I'm just going to go ahead and glue these tabs. There are 2 tabs that are reinforcements on the actual part that has a slit. You guys, if you have this die, you guys will know what I'm talking about. But these are just reinforcements to make that area a little bit more sturdy. I'm just gluing those down with liquid glue, and I'm going to go ahead and use my clips to hold that down so that they can dry. You have to do this exactly a few times because you have 4 pieces that you guys are going to glue together. So this is going to kind of take a little bit of a time, but it is not something that is not doable. So you guys could go ahead and just do that. Once the first one is dry, then we could go ahead and start kind of folding and creasing all of the folds on this. And so you want to go ahead and just fold everything, fold all of the little tabs into going inward so that they're all going in the right direction. And like I said, you will need 2 of these to make one single little ball. So go ahead and just keep folding all of your little tabs and it'll be really, really easy, guys. This little pop-up ball does look a little bit complicated, but once you're actually making it, it is super duper simple and you guys are going to be like, what? Yeah, it's super cute and super easy. So now that we have them all creased and folded, we're going to go ahead and get our brads, and we're going to go ahead and just have everything ready so that when we put these little bad boys together, we can go ahead and just, you know, go along. So these little tabs, there's a little hole and there's a little slit. You want those slit and that hole to line up together. So you want that to be all going in one direction, because if you kind of do it wrong, then you're going to have it going in separate directions and you're not going to be able to put in that rubber band. So I'm sorry that I'm not really showing you guys close up. I will be doing another one of these cards, which I will go more into detail. But as far as right now, we're just going to go ahead and glue these. So just go ahead and keep gluing all of the little tabs. And like I said, you want to make sure that that slit and that little hole are going in the same direction. After that, you want to kind of work the next two little flaps, and those have two individual flaps, and each one of those goes glued in the inside of that flap, if you guys see how I'm doing it. And then you can go ahead and push that down so that they could really get a good grip. So now that you have those three flaps glued, this is the part where you want to go ahead and add your rubber band, because if you glue all of the things together without adding the rubber band, then it's just not going to work. So these are size number 12 soft stretch, and these worked perfectly. There are different sizes of rubber bands, guys. You guys could just go ahead and play with all the rubber bands that you guys have in case you don't. But if you guys are going to go purchase some, go ahead and purchase some at a make sure that they're size 12 and they're a soft stretch so that they're not too harsh. Then once you glue the other side where it has a slit and the little hole, then you want to go ahead and slit that little rubber band in there. And once you have the rubber band in place, then you could go ahead and just glue the remainder of these little tabs. And you're going to basically do this to the two little balls that you guys are making. I use my little clips to kind of hold these down so that, you know, you can make sure that the glue is really doing a really good contact, and what the rubber band is what basically makes this pop back out. So see how it has that little springing action? You definitely want that. You want to go ahead and make sure that one of the balls has a brad, which is going to be the body. So if you're doing a body and a head, make sure that you put your little brad in before you guys close your little mechanism. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how you're going to attach that to the actual card once it's all done. So once you have all of your little balls done, then you guys could go ahead and just add all of these little mats that you guys cut out of whatever color that you guys want. This is super duper cute. Just remember that you don't really have to go all crazy about it, but I mean, like, there are so many different designs that you guys could do, so many different DSP papers. If you guys wanted to make this little reindeer like a little pattern reindeer, that would have been super duper cute as well. I just decided to use solid colors because I felt that the solid colors would look a lot better. And so that's what we're doing right here. Once you have all of these glued, guys, then all we have to do is just glue the two little balls together, and then we can go ahead and start making the little face on this little bad boy, which is super duper cute. This little die set also has like a stencil. They're built like a stencil so that you can go ahead and make sure that you have like the little hoofs and the little smile and all that. You guys will see how I do this. So once we have all these ready, we're going to go ahead and just glue the little scarf going around. It has a little scarf die if you guys want to add that. And then we're going to go ahead and glue the head to the body. And then just put our little face together with the ears and the snout and the little antlers. Now, these little dies, like I said, are stencils. So we're going to go ahead and put the stencil back onto the little legs. And we'll just color that little open part black so it looks like they have the little black hoofs. So like I said, they basically did this to where you could use these as a stencil. As you notice, that little snout stencil, that little mouth is just markered, and so that stencil has a little smile so that you guys could go ahead and just add that little smile onto his little face, which is super duper cute. Once you've had all the ball put together, then just go ahead and add your ears and your little arms wherever you guys want to go ahead and add those. And in your pop-up die, you have the little dies for the actual eyes. They don't come out in the Animals add-on 3 because there's no need to have them on there when you already have them on the actual surprise ball pop-up, because that little surprise ball pop-up has everything that you need to make a little puppy. And so the eyes go on in there, and so that's where we're going to take those out right now, as you see. And then once you guys make the little eyes for the little pop-up, then you guys can go ahead and just glue the eyes in first. And then once you glue in the eyes, then you guys could go ahead and do the little snout. I like to glue the little eyes first so that they're just basically behind the snout. So right here, we're just going to use some black cardstock. I was going to use a dark brown, but I figured that the dark brown was already used on the body, and I didn't want to have too many like dark brown colors because the hoofs are already black, the smile's already black. So I just felt that using the little antlers black would just kind of make everything else pop. So right here, we're just going to go ahead and run that through our Sizzix machine. I'm so sorry, guys, that my camera is out of focus. I'm telling you, today just was one of those days, guys. It just, nothing was coming out correctly. But I felt that we just needed to continue with the show and continue filming. And even though it was a little off, I mean, you know, it's better than nothing, right? So I figured, hey, I'll just do it like that. So anyway, we have the little eyes now. I use a little white gel pen to go ahead and mark a little glare from the light onto this, just to kind of give it a little bit more life. Once you've centered these onto the actual face, it's super duper easy. Make sure you guys don't glue the little creases where it folds, because that will interfere with your little popping up. And so now we just add the little snout, and how cute are these little guys right here. So I thought these were super cute. This is where I add that little glare with the little gel pen on the nose and on the little eyes. I just thought it gave it that little extra life to it. So once this little bad boy is done, we're going to go ahead and just basically put this into place. I just put this into place right now, but you're going to notice that I will be taking this back off because we do need to stamp our sentiment in the inside of this card. You have plenty of room in there to throw a sentiment in there, and also to write a little message in case you guys want to write a message. We're going to use a brad, and we're going to use some of the little die cutouts from this flip closure envelope die that basically utilizes, I don't know what the hell I'm saying, guys. It uses a little string or a twine or something like that to hold this envelope closed. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp my little sentiment. I know you guys can't see it. I'm so sorry. But it says holiday wishes, and I'm going to go ahead and just stamp that on the very corner of this card, because the little pop-up ball will basically kind of sit in back of that little sentiment. I kind of just made it to where you guys will be able to see the sentiment. Trust me, it's going to look super cute. And so now we're just going to go ahead and continue to build this little envelope. Now I want to go ahead and cut out those little kind of, I don't know what they're called, but they're the little circles that you would basically wrap the twine or the yarn around, so it keeps this little closure down. It comes with a total of 6 of them, 6 tiny little ones, which are basically spacers, and then 2 big ones, which are basically the main little cardstock. Now, if you're just going to do the little spacers and that big circle and basically glue it, you want to make sure that you have a really hard glue, because I tried it just like that, and when you wrap the yarn around and the recipient kind of like takes it apart and opens it and then winds it back up and then unwinds it, those little circles and spacers basically just came off because I just used a glue. So you might want to use a brad, or you might want to use the eyelid little rings to hold this down. Now, if you do use the little eyelids, I would recommend that you don't use all 6 spacers, maybe 3 spacers, because that would be too thick of a paper and your little eyelid would not be able to wrap around the cardstocks. But if you're going to use a brad, then it really doesn't matter if you use the 6 little spacers. You could just go ahead and hole punch with your hole puncher and go ahead and add the brad. Now I don't show that part right here because I didn't experience that until afterwards we made the video, and I opened it and closed it and opened it and closed it. Then these little guys just basically fell off. So the glue was not strong enough to hold these little bad boys down, just so that you guys know for your FYI. But we ended up using a brad, and we do use just some regular black crochet super thin thread. You guys know what kind of thread it is. It's the one that they usually use for embroidery. So you guys could go ahead and use that one to go ahead and just like use it as a closure. This is a yarn that we're using. I keep calling it yarn because it is yarn. It's in the yarn section. And yeah. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and glue it. Again, I am so sorry that this is out of focus, but I had no idea that this was out of focus until afterwards that I filmed it and I finished everything and I was reviewing it, and there was really no way of going back and fixing it because I had already made that little bitty ball and I made the little envelope, so it's kind of hard. So right here I was going to use the eyelids like I said, but I realized that they were too small and that I put too many spacers into that closure. I actually used all 6 spacers instead of just using 3. I think that if you use 3 per spacer, then you guys would be able to use that little eyelid. But in this case, like I said, I just ended up gluing them, and that did not work really good. So we ended up using our brads for this. So once you guys have this done right here, you guys could just go ahead and tie your string on one side of it, and then you guys are going to notice that on the other side they could just go ahead and wrap this around that circle so that they could go ahead and close their little mechanism. And right here is the only part that I'm doing a knot. You don't have to really do a knot on the other side when you close it because it's just, you know, it's okay. So right here I pushed it all the way down, and once I pushed it down, then I opened up the brad and put it through into the envelope. And then once you have that brad in there secure, then you could go ahead and let go of the little pop-up ball. And so this is the way basically it looks. So you just open it and it pops out. So it is like super duper cute. Now because I was using string, and the string, I didn't want it to get caught onto the antlers, I just went ahead and I cut a little square. That little square is just going to basically serve to sit there and just basically secure the, you know, string from getting onto the little antlers. And that's how easy this was to make, guys. If you guys do have this die, I hope you guys share with us. But if you don't, then we'll figure something out. Monsters, that's how easy it was to make this little itty bitty pop. Well, it's not the itty bitty one. It's just basically the bitty ball pop up, which is a surprise ball. And we went ahead and we made this little bad boy for a very special someone in my life. And I'm going to go ahead and give that to her. So I know you may not have this little die here. If you guys do, I mean, they're super cute and they're super easy to make. But if you do not have one of these dies, I mean, I don't have an alternative on how to make them. But if you guys are interested in purchasing one of these, I did purchase this on eBay. So go ahead and check them out on eBay. But also go ahead and surf the web, because you want to make sure that you guys get the best deal possible. Yeah, and so I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and go ahead and hit that little bell. It's not a bell icon. Hit the little icon. It's a picture of Ma, and we become BFFFs. But since you're already there, guys, go ahead and hit that little bell icon if you guys haven't already done that. That will just notify you guys every time we do a new content. And like I said, guys, the next video that I do is basically going to be until a little, I would say the week right after New Year's. So New Year's is what, on a Friday? So we will go ahead and get started that Monday. So we're going to go ahead and do some Valentine videos, because we want to go ahead and be on time on this one. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm really sorry, but just understand that I did go through a really bad time with Matthias's passing away. So emotionally and in my head, I'm not fine. But I'm trying to pull through, guys. I'm trying to pull through. So I will see you guys after New Year's. Merry Christmas to all of you guys. I love you guys from the very bottom of my heart. I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas. And Happy New Year, guys. Be safe, be healthy, and I will see you guys the next Monday. Until then, my little crafty monsters, goodbye.